and he was out here violating a teenage black woman, a teenage black girl, excuse me, a girl, and we giving passes for this. Come on, man, come on.
Powerful, powerful. We in here with Immortal Technique. I'm gonna ask you a few more questions, man. Talk about a little bit of hip hop. In your estimation, would you say that there are active agents in hip hop that work with the federal government to put out a message that's detrimental to the youth?
I think there's always been that. I think there's always been active agents in anything. I mean, if they're in Hollywood, then why wouldn't they be in hip hop? Like, you ever seen a Hollywood movie in the past 20 years when they depict the CIA as good people, right? Even that stupid series Narcos, where like the CIA is trying to stop the drug trade. And get the fuck out of here, bro. Are you kidding me? You think it's stupid to believe that type of shit? Like, yeah, of course, brother. I 100% think that there are people who are agent provocateurs in hip hop. Now, who they are, I don't know. Are they people who are actively messaging something out and trying to get people to move to one political side or another? Maybe. Are there people out there who are just a useful idiot that don't know they're being used, who are just their music, which is nonsensical and has no meaning and no purpose, is getting all the push in the world, while something else that is going to be regarded later on in history as genius is being ignored? Probably. But you know what I mean? Like I said, if there's aspects of that in every part of our society, then why wouldn't it be in hip hop? You know what I mean? Like I said, there's too many movies out there where the CIA is the good guy. You know what I mean? Where the cop, oh my God. I saw an episode, and I love Law and Order, but I saw an episode of Law and Order where this lady killed a black lady's son, and she needed to go tell the truth to the cops so the cop could get off for killing her son. And I was like, no, I can't believe a cop show where the cops don't use the N-word. Because when I was a kid, that's all they did. I tell Justin and all the rest of them, I learned damn near every racial slur I know from hearing fat Italian cops cursing people. Like, come on, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Jay-Z in the NFL. How do you feel about that particular him supposedly joining up with the NFL? Has been receiving a lot of backlash, and some people are on board with that. What's your thoughts on that?
Listen, if you're in business with the NFL, you're there to get money, all right?
Whew.
And you're there to get money at whatever means. And I'm waiting for the long-term strategy. You know, apparently we were past kneeling because niggas ain't kneeling no more, right? But I don't know if that's what he meant. You think that's what he meant? That's my question. I'll play tennis with y'all today. You think that's what he meant? You think that's what Jay meant when he said we passed kneeling? That he wanted people to be out here ripping furs out of Gucci? Because that's what past kneeling is. When people are past kneeling, we're not going to be past any of this until the police get past that, right?
Exactly.
Police get past what they're doing. Like, I remind people, multiculturalism didn't fail in America. Americans failed to be racist. White Americans failed to not be racist. And when it comes to Black and Latino people being racist, when people say, oh, it's about institutional power, you know what I mean? Black people can't be racist. They're forgetting about colorism and what I explained to you before, and how plenty of Black people are racist. I know Black people that speak Spanish and they don't think they're Black and they're racist. You know? Come on now. Can a Black person be racist? Absolutely. If they're not conscious of who they are, a person can be racist against themselves if they have no knowledge of self. A person can be a certain race and not represent the interests of anybody of that color as well, and be used as a pawn by other people to get what they want out of it.
That's a fact.
The Jay situation is different. He's a millionaire 100 times over, so it's not like he's desperate for money. I don't know if he's trying to buy a stake in it. We don't know. I haven't heard what he said about these protests going on right now. I think that he's done the smart thing and just not said nothing. Like Dave Chappelle said, he said a lot of real smart motherfuckers. They said nothing because niggas don't want to hear from no fucking celebrity right now. They don't want to hear that. They don't want like. Look, dude, if you out here being a neoliberal shill, like the Democratic mayor, right? They don't want you at the protest. If you gonna show up there with a MAGA hat and try to like start a fight with people, you a fool. You're gonna get your ass kicked, and you're not brave for that. That's what I think is sad, that I see these situations where a guy runs into a crowd of people, right, with a sword, like screaming, "Make America Great," and get beat the fuck up, and it's ridiculous. Like, think about this: how much sympathy you think there would be for me if I, like, I don't know, put on like a football uniform that said Black Lives Matter, and I took a 3-point stance, and I just charged into a fucking group of MAGA hat people, and they beat me up because I charged into them. Would people have sympathy for me? No. Then why y'all got sympathy for a nut job who pull out a bow and arrow and shoot a kid in the middle of the street? Stay in your car, stay in your lane, keep going. You don't want these people to bother you. They don't want to bother you for nothing. The message has been very clear to all the protesters that I've seen. Don't hurt nobody. We don't give a fuck about these institutions, but we ain't trying to hurt no innocent people. Like, the only time they wild out is when 5-0 start tear gassing them. And I feel that because they do it on purpose. They put the old vehicles in front. Listen, you want me to kick G? I kick real G. They put the old vehicles in front because they're gonna get insurance money for them, right? So they let niggas burn the old vehicles, and when people charge, they allow the first group to come in. It's called kettling. It's a Vikinger tactic. They let the first come in, and then they close the sides and flank people from all angles. They doing the same thing, and then they fire tear gas on people that are peacefully protesting because they want to incite violence. And I'll tell you why. Because right now they're trying to justify their existence, brothers. Right now, the police department is definitely and desperately trying to justify why LAPD has a Lamborghini, why all these big companies have Chargers and all these Porsche cars. LAPD has 6 Porsches. Why? So the brass can use them to drive from place to place. Why? That's what we mean by defund the police. Why does NYPD have 2 tanks? Why? Was a tank going to stop? Even if you had 10 tanks, were they going to stop the planes that hit the World Trade Center? No. Come on, man.
Show up afterwards. Yeah.
We gotta remember this one thing, and then I'm gonna let it go. The police department and the police in general are part of a punitive system that we have in the United States. And what I mean by punitive is they punish people who do things wrong. Very rarely, and if they do, I can count it on my hand, have the police kicked in the door this year and stopped a woman from being raped. Very rarely do the police catch a bullet meant for someone else or stop someone right when they're about to shoot somebody. 99% of the time, they go and find people that did something wrong and punish them so badly, right? Punish them so badly that it's supposed to send us a message not to do it anymore. And when I explained that to people, they asked, well, do they think it works? And I say it hasn't worked in 300 years. It hasn't worked in 400 years. It hasn't worked since the dawn of time. That's not how you help a people. That's not how you educate a people. That's not how you lift them up. That's how you oppress a people. That's it. You know, we need peace officers. We don't need people patrolling us.
Fact. One more question.
So that's always a positive thing. I'm seeing a lot of craziness out here, but I'm seeing a lot of unity. As much disunity as people are playing up, there's a lot of people that are realizing they have more in common than they did apart right now. This Sunday on 167th, marching down to 125th, is a giant group of Latino people that are going to be marching against racism. The people who are Afro-Latino, the people who have been in the community that refuse to be pawns in this game and be put and positioned against Black people, as we have so many times during not just this administration, but past administrations as well, because one of the only way that Europeans gained a foothold or got this dominion over the continent in the first place was to make sure that indigenous people and African people did not have commonality or unity, or didn't realize that there was a lot of similarity, not just to the struggle, but to the condition and the culture that came with what they had, which was a culture of struggle, which was a culture of revolution, which is where, you know, our struggle is really born. It's not born out of a right or left paradigm that exists now. It's born out of the base struggle for freedom, right? It's not like there weren't laws back in Spain in 1492. You know, you go back and look at the laws. Medieval laws were brutal. If you raped a woman in medieval Spain, they cut your fucking hand off, cut your dick off. You know what I mean? These people are horrible. It's not like they weren't rules or people didn't understand what murder was. You know what I mean? That's the history that we're rewriting right now. So it's not, a bunch of Indians got sick. No, people purposefully gave them a disease to try to wipe them out. So we're not going to be playing these half truths anymore. So as much horrible shit as I've seen out here, brother, I've seen some very positive things as well.
Yeah, no doubt. We've seen a lot of like racist statues coming down, different things changing. But what do you think now, though? I mean, you've always been, on the forefront, with the revolutionary 1 and 2, and just being out there doing what you do, speaking up for Blacks, Latinos, and other people. How do you? This climate now is a little bit different than what we've seen, because now we see Latinos, whites, Blacks marching together, looting together, doing all that together. Do you think this is a new change in time, or do you think just people just getting out there to join it just because they was cooped up in the house? What do you think about that?
I mean, I think both could be true. I think obviously something that we're leaving out right now is that the coronavirus pandemic definitely has been exposed to have been overplayed. I'm not saying that it didn't exist. That's a lie. It obviously existed, because they're about to overthrow Brazil, because so many thousands of people died because of it. But I think what people missed is that, much like a lot of other things, the coronavirus hit people who didn't have the financial means to stop working and sit there and fight a disease. Most people who are working class people, when they get sick, they try to power through something, and you can't power through something like that. So people were getting hit super hard. And I feel like there is some truth to that. I'm sure some people are just coming out just to come out. They're coming out.